topic, which is Introduction to Corporate Finance. What do you understand by corporate finance? It is made up of two words, that is corporate and finance. Let us first understand the meaning of the term corporate. The term corporate means large companies or business organizations, and the term finance means money and money management. Accordingly, if we just combine these two words, it simply means money and money management activities done by the large companies or business organizations. But this is a simple meaning of corporate finance, which is not sufficient. We need to understand a better meaning of corporate finance, and that is why in this chapter we are going to understand firstly the definition of corporate finance. So let us begin with the first question, which is define corporate finance. This definition is given by many thinkers, but one of the major thinkers among them is Henry Hoagland. Henry Hoagland has given the definition of corporate finance. What according to him is corporate finance? Every joint stock company requires huge amount of capital to manage its activities. So, firstly, it is necessary for every business organization to raise funds, to raise capital from various sources, which could be by means of selling shares, by means of issuing debentures, by means of borrowing loan from bank, by means of taking loan from financial institution, etc. Accordingly, corporate finance basically involves firstly acquiring capital from various resources or various sources. Capital cannot just be raised from one sources, it has to be raised from different sources. So acquisition of capital or raising of capital plays basic and important role and is considered to be the most important aspect of corporate finance. Now we come to the next step, the next aspect. After acquiring capital, it is necessary to make the best use of the capital, and accordingly, once money enters into the business, once finance enters into the business, it is necessary to make a systematic and efficient use of capital so that it could bring about the best results in the organization. According to Henry Hoagland, he considered only two aspects, that is, firstly acquisition of capital and then a proper use of capital. But that's not just enough according to other thinkers. According to them, even there are other four aspects which are included in corporate finance. So let us understand what are the other aspects of corporate finance. Firstly, it is necessary to do financial planning. Every business organization has to do a proper planning of its financial activities. Accordingly, financial planning is nothing but an advanced programming of all the financial activities of the business organization. So, the third aspect of corporate finance is financial planning. Along with this, it is also necessary for the business organization to make an in-depth study of capital market. Now, the question which arises over here is, what is capital market? Capital market is that market wherein a business organization or a corporate house can raise funds or loans for a longer period of term, that is, say for a period of 5 years, 10 years or even more, which means that whenever any company requires funds on a longer term basis, more than 1 year, then it can approach the capital market. Capital market is a place wherein the long-term financial requirements of a business organization are met. However, a business organization also requires funds for a short-term period, which could range from 15 days to 1 year. Accordingly, whenever a business organization requires funds for a short-term period, it has to approach the money market. So, money market is a place where short-term funds are borrowed and lent. So along with financial planning, it is necessary for a business organization to make a study of capital market as well as study of money market. But still, that is not enough. Even a study of share market or share bazaar or stock exchange is equally important. What is share market? Share market is a place wherein securities are bought and sold. It is that market wherein systematic and organized trading of securities like shares, debentures, bonds, mutual funds, etc. takes place. So, corporate finance even involves the study of share market. So, from this we can make a conclusion that the term corporate finance includes 6 important aspects, that is acquisition of capital, use of capital, financial planning, study of capital market, study of money market and study of share market. So suppose if the question on define corporate finance is asked, students, you are supposed to firstly give the definition of Henry Hoagland, which includes acquisition and use of capital. But as I said, that is not enough. You also need to include financial planning, study of capital market, study of money market and study of share market. This question, if asked, it could be asked as a 2 marks question and it is considered to be one of the important questions as definition of corporate finance. Let us now move towards the second question, which is what is corporate finance, and state 2 decisions which are the basis of corporate finance. If you just see, this question is divided into 2 parts, that is they are asking you as to what is corporate finance and the 2 decisions which form the basis of corporate finance in any business organization. Accordingly, firstly, do write down the definition given by Henry Hoagland as we have discussed earlier. Now, let us understand which are the 2 basic decisions which every business organization has to take relating to its financial activities. The following are the 2 decisions which are the basis of corporate finance, that is firstly financing decisions and secondly investment decisions. Let us understand these 2 bases in depth. Let us now understand what are financing decisions. A joint stock company requires huge amount of capital. So how will it raise such a huge amount of capital? Accordingly, multiple choices of sources of financing are available to any joint stock company. This multiple choices includes equity capital, which represents share capital or owned capital. But the share capital, owned capital is not enough to run the business organization. A company is also required to raise money by means of debt capital, that is by means of taking loan. So from where does it take loan? It takes loan through the banks, through the financial institutions in the form of public deposits and by means of debentures. So the first financing decision which a business organization is required to see to it that multiple choices are available, but it needs to maintain a right balance between this debt capital and equity capital, which means that too much of loan should not be raised. Too much of amount should not be raised by means of loan capital or debt capital. Otherwise, the company will have to face the problem of paying huge amount of interest and it will thereby create a financial burden on the company. That is why it is necessary for a company to maintain a proper and a right combination of debt and equity capital. Thirdly, the finance manager must also ensure that the firm has the right amount of capital in order to meet its financial needs, its financial requirement. So, the financing decisions basically includes maintaining a right combination between the debt and equity capital which are available from the various sources and see to it that the right amount of capital is raised in order to meet its financial requirements. Let us now understand The second basis of corporate finance, that is investment decisions. In the first basis, that is financing decision, we have already studied that the finance manager and the top level management takes decision relating how to raise funds, how much amount and in what way. Now once the funds enters into the business, once the capital has entered into the business, it is necessary to take the investment decisions. It is necessary to divide the amount properly between fixed capital and working capital. So let us understand the second one, that is investment decisions. Investment decisions are also called as capital budgeting. A budget, as we very well know, it is a statement which shows an estimate of the expenditure and revenue of a business organization, and that is why whenever a business organization takes decisions relating to investment, it is called as capital budgeting. What is investment decisions? It is nothing but use of funds raised in a systematic manner, in an efficient manner. It is necessary that whatever funds are raised by means of various sources, a proper utilization of all those funds are made in the business organization in a very systematic manner, so that it brings about the growth of the business organization. It also aims to bring maximum return for its owners. If the funds are used in a systematic and efficient manner, it would reduce the wasteful expenditure and thereby increase the profits. With the increase in the profits, it is definitely going to bring a maximum return for the owners. Accordingly, not just financing decisions but even investment decisions are equally important. So, the two important bases for corporate finance are financing decisions, that is firstly how to raise finance, in what way to raise, from what sources, how much amount, and secondly investment decisions, that is how to utilize the funds raised in a systematic and efficient manner so that it may give maximum return to the owners. So with this we have completed the second question, wherein we understood what is corporate finance and the two decisions which forms the basis of corporate finance.